Okay, so we are going to chant the prayers. Who's going to sing today? I cannot sing today.
Shall I try, Prabhuji?
Okay, you try.
I don't know, but I'll try. Radha Krishna Prana Mora Jugal Kishore. Radha Krishna Prana Mora Jugal Kishore. Jivane Marane Gati Arunahi Mor. Jivane Marane Gati Arunahi Mor. Radha Krishna Prana Mora Jugal Kishore. Kalindir Kule Kili Kadambiravana. Kalindir Kule Kili Kadambiravana. Ratana Bidira Upar Bosa Bodhujan Na. Radha Krishna Prana Mora Jugal Kishore. Shyama Gauri Ange Dipo Chantanir Ganda. Chamara Dulabo Kabe Heri Mukha Chandra. Radha Krishna Prana Mora Jugal Kishore. Gatiya Malatir Mala Dipo Dohara Gale. Adare Tuli Gatiya Malatir Mala Dipo Dohara Gale. Adare Tuliya Dipo Karpura Tabule. Radha Krishna Prana Mora Jugal Kishore. Lalita Vishakati Jata Saki Brinda. Ajnaya Koribo Seba Charanaravinda. Radha Krishna Prana Mora Jugal Kishore. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Dasiranu Dasa. Seva Bilasha Kore Narottama Dasa. Radha Krishna Prana Mora Jugal Kishore. Jivani Marane Gati Arnahi Mor. Radha Krishna Prana Mora Jugal Kishore.
Jai. Suno. Do you have pen and paper, everybody?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes.
So Radha, first Kamal Roy, जब तू वहां पे पहुंचेगा, है ना? नहीं सॉरी, सबसे पहले सृष्टि से शुरू करते हैं. सृष्टि, राधा कृष्णा प्राणमोरा जुगल किशोर जीवने मरने गति हार नहीं मोर. So this is your shloka. I want you to design, paint, मतलब कैसी भी painting हो, it doesn't matter. But I want you to paint, make a sketch that Radha and Krishna sitting and one gopi sitting down asking for the prayer. So I want you to make a sketch with some colors if you want to put in it. You have to make one painting which you're going to show us day after tomorrow. अच्छा, खुशी, कालिंदेर कुले केली कंदम्बेर वन. ठीक है? कालिंदी मतलब जमुना के किनारे. ठीक है। और कदम
Okay,
पेड़
Prabhuji.
वन, कदम का वन, तो एक कदम के पेड़ों का वन बनाना है तुमने, पेंटिंग करनी है, कैसे भी डिजाइन करना है। रतन बेरीरा ऊपर गुस्सा बनुजन, और उसके पेड़ों के बीच में जहां जमुना बह रही है, यू हैव टू मेक वन सिंहासन इन विच राधा एंड कृष्णा आर सिटिंग टुगेदर। ठीक है।
Okay, Prabhuji.
श्यामा गोरी अंगे दीवो चंदनेर गन, चामर डुलाबो कवे हेली मुकुचन। राधा रुगा माता जी, you are going to make a painting of Radha Krishna sitting together, and one of the gopi is putting the chandan on their, you know, on their hands. ठीक है। And another gopi is actually doing a chamara. Is that clear?
Okay, Prabhuji. आपको पूरा पेंटर बना दूंगा मैं,
क्या?
पूरा आर्टिस्ट ही बना दोगे Prabhuji.
Whatever it is, I want you to have that. I want to. If you can make it professionally, make it professionally. If you want to make it simple, make it simple. I want to see how deep you think when you're thinking about Leela.
Prabhuji, there are two
Gatiya,
gopis.
huh?
There are two gopis. Now one is putting chandan, another is
Third
chamar.
वर्ष है आपका, बस याद रखो, है ना। अच्छा, गाठिया मालिती मारा दीपो दोहार गले, आधारे तुल्य दीपो कर्पूर तांबुले। यानी कि श्रीधा माता जी को एक प्लेट में एक गोपी पान लेके खड़ी हुई है, और दूसरी जो गोपी है वो उनके गले में, मतलब मालती जो माला है वो पहना रही है राधे श्याम के। ठीक है। तो मे बी यू हैव टू
Prabhuji,
मेक,
what? Come again, Prabhuji. One gopi is garlanding.
maybe you know what you can do, you can just make a picture of a gopi when Radha Krishna sitting together. ठीक है। And one gopi is making a garland, and another gopi is actually making is ready with the tambula in the
Okay.
plate.
Okay. Oh my
ललिता
God.
विशाखा आदि। अरे भैया, I want the pictures ना, बल्कि मैं तो कह रहा हूँ कि don't wait for that long, tomorrow evening only you send. ललिता विशाखा आदि जत सखी वृंद, आज्ञा करीबो सेवा चरण अरविंद। So यानी कि अंशु बब्बर, you have to make a picture of Radha Krishna sitting together on the throne where Lalita and Vishakha are standing. So Lalita has actually tambulam, मतलब like one small box, you know, in her hand. You don't have to put tambulam, it can be mukhwas also. And then you have to make another gopi stand, that is Vishakha, who is actually doing a chamara. Okay? Otherwise, you can think about other service, because yesterday we read that Vishakha Sakhi is expert in playing different mridangas, one of different instruments. So maybe you can make Radha, maybe you can make Vishakha playing mridanga. So I want the picture with Lalita and Vishakha. What seva they want to do, it's up to you. But you have to make Anshu Baba 3 gopis, because in the same picture, Radha Krishna sitting, Lalita and Vishakha doing service, and there will be one gopi who will be actually praying to couples.
Okay.
You know, कि आज्ञा करीबो सेवा चरण अरविंद। हाँ मेरे शेर कमल रॉय, राधा श्री कृष्णा चैतन्य प्रभु दासानुदास सेवा अभिलाष करे नरोत्तम दास। तो तेरा काम थोड़ा बड़ा है, ठीक है। I'll take a voice test, I know. So what's his name? Kamal Roy, are you there still?
Yes, Prabhuji.
तो देखो, राधा कृष्णा ललिता विशाखा साथ में एक गोपी बनानी है, ठीक है। अब तू बता कि कैसे सेवा अभिलाषा करे नरोत्तम दास। तो अगर नरोत्तम दास सेवा अभिलाषा कर रहे हैं तो कैसे कर रहे हैं? तो यू नो व्हाट यू कैन डू, you can actually make a picture of a gopi who is doing aarti of Radha and Krishna. समझ रहे? हरि बोल। कमल कमल भाग गया maybe he's in the train right now. So he has to have, मतलब मैं कमल को बोल दे रहा हूँ अभी, राधा रुको माता जी, कमल का जो लिख के उसको पोस्ट कर देना ग्रुप पे.
Yes, Prabhu ji.
अब कमल को महाप्रभु,
This is breaking.
राधा कृष्णा तीनों को बिठाना है और एक सखी को उनकी आरती उतारते हुए दिखाना है. ठीक है?
So, Prabhuji, can you please repeat? एक जना आरती.
मतलब ऐसे दिखाना है कि चैतन्य महाप्रभु बीच में खड़े हैं, राधा कृष्णा दोनों साथ में बैठे हैं और महाप्रभु ने सबका स्वरूप है. And one gopi is actually doing a आरती.
कमल प्रभु कह रहे थे.
One gopi is doing a आरती. ठीक है? याद रहेगा?
Yes.
Yes, Prabhu ji.
ठीक है? यार धर्मा के अंदर ये यार देखो मैंने ऑलरेडी भेज चुका हूँ इनविटेशन आज सुबह मॉर्निंग पे. कमल रॉय. चलो anyways, let's stop this. Let's come back to our Bhakti Vedanta Vedabase. Do you have any questions related to the task which I have given you?
तो जी क्वेश्चन तो नहीं है, बन जाए तो अच्छी बात होगी.
हाँ?
क्वेश्चन तो नहीं है प्रभु जी, बन जाएगा हमसे तो बहुत अच्छी बात होगी.
जैसे मर्जी बनाओ यार, बिल्कुल सुंदर सुंदर बनाना, दिल से बनाना और तुम्हारा भाव प्रतीक होना चाहिए. जिस तरीके से तुम चाहते हो कि निकुंज होना चाहिए, जिस तरीके से तुम चाहते हो कि चंद्रमा चमक रहा है, मोर नाच रहे हैं. अच्छा आज का रंग महल कैसा है? हमने डिसाइड ही नहीं किया. आज का रंग महल कैसा है?
आज प्रभु जी वो झूले पे बैठे हैं क्योंकि मेरे दिमाग में वही चल रहा है, पता नहीं क्यों.
वेरी गुड. राधा कृष्ण झूले पे बैठे. वो झूला वो कौन से पेड़ पे है?
पता नहीं मेरे दिमाग में तो
कदम के पेड़ पे.
कदम के पेड़ पे. वेरी गुड. अब सुनो, अंशु बब्बर ने ऑलरेडी रंग महल का एक स्वरूप दे दिया है. अब उसी को बनाओ. जिसके दिमाग में जो भी चल रहा हो खत्म करो, उसी को कंस्ट्रक्ट करते रहो. ओके.
प्रभु जी राधा रानी ने नीले रंग की साड़ी पहनी है और कृष्ण ने पीताम्बरी वस्त्र पहने हैं.
कृष्ण, वेरी गुड, वेरी ब्यूटीफुल. साड़ी पहनी है या लहंगा पहना है?
प्रभु जी साड़ी ही अच्छी लगती है मेरे को राधा रानी को, पर ब्लू कलर.
लेकिन राधा रानी की साड़ी जो भाव है, दैट एक्चुअली शोज वेरी ऐश्वर्य भाव. राधा रानी इज ऑलवेज वेयरिंग गोपी ड्रेस.
ओके.
तो वी कैन हैव गोपी ड्रेस. हां, वेरी गुड. उसके अलावा राधा नुगो माता जी, यू वांट टू ऐड समथिंग?
Yes, Prabhu ji, the gopis are there and जैसे आपने बताया एलिमेंट्स, और आसपास हम वो भी दिखा सकते हैं, मतलब फॉरेस्ट. और फॉरेस्ट
आप
में
दिखाने की बात नहीं है, सब में आपका चिंतन है कि व्हाट आर यू सीइंग एज रंग महल.
Okay, so we are seeing the birds around, parakeets and the peacocks.
Very good.
And,
Peacocks are
लताएं वहाँ
dancing actually, because it's actually Shravan Mahotsav, because when you're putting the Lord on Jhula, it's Radhe Jhulan Padharo Juk Aaye Badra. That
And
is actually going on.
there is one gopi who is making rangoli.
Very nice, Mataji. And Shweta Mataji, you want to add something to it?
Krishna is making Radharani wear a crown, beautiful crown with lots of gemstones in it.
Very good. खुशी भाग गई. Okay. इसने लिख के भेजा है, तो मैं बोलता हूँ तुम बोलोगे ज़्यादा better है. All the Sakhis are blowing Manjari dhol. Sorry. All the Sakhis are blowing Manjari dhol and singing. All the Sakhis are making the Jhula swing. All the gopis and the Sakhis are sprinkling flower. Very good.
और प्रभु जी राधा रानी के ने बिकॉज उनकी ब्लू ड्रेस है तो उन्होंने येलो कलर की गार्लैंड पहनी है जो मैचिंग है, और सेम कृष्णा ने येलो और ब्लू फ्लावर्स वाली पहनी है ताकि उन दोनों का मैचिंग हो. और ऐसे ही ब्लू और येलो कलर की वेणी पहनी हुई है राधा रानी ने, और जो झूला है वो पूरा फ्लावर से ही डेकोरेटेड है.
Very good. Very good.
And Prabhuji, all the gopis are offering sweets to Radharani to offer it to Krishna.
But how is it possible? Because they're on the string.
अभी तो गोपियों के हाथ में है ना?
Yeah, they're ready with the sweets. So
Yeah,
that
they're ready with
Radha
the
Shyam
sweets.
Sundar can have it
Yeah.
after they're done with it. Yeah, very nice. Very nice. No cupcakes, Mataji, huh? Only sweets, huh? Okay, very good. Krishna is actually looking at Radharani from his eyes, the sidelong glances. See, तुम लोग कहाँ थे आज से 3 महीने पहले 4 महीने पहले, and now you're like, you know what, where you are. Just imagine, you know. And I'm not asking you to do anything artificial. It's just like, you know, you're thinking about it. You know, you're thinking what you've read, what you've heard in scriptures, isn't it?
Yes, Prabhuji.
And it's never going to contaminate your consciousness. Yes, of course. Oh, dupatta is now flowing and covering the face. Okay, but Radharani looks very beautiful. You know, why to cover her face? Okay.
Krishna's face, Prabhuji.
Krishna's. Oh, Krishna.
His face.
Then actually he can feel the fragrance which is coming from the
Dupatta. Yeah, chunari, right?
very nice. Chalo. ठीक है. अन्याभिलाषिता शून्यम ज्ञान कर्मानुनावृतम अनुकूलेन कृष्णानु शीघ्रं भक्तिरोत्तमा. Chapter 23, Krishna's personality. Shweta Mataji, start.
Please share, Prabhuji.
Start.
You haven't shared the
Share
screen.
the screen.
Okay. Sorry.
Chapter 23, Krishna's personality. Srila Rupa Goswami states that although Lord Krishna is the reservoir of unlimited pleasure and the greatest leader of all, he is still dependent upon his devotees in 3 ways. According to the emotional status of the devotee, the Supreme Personality of Godhead is appreciated in 3 ways: as the most perfect, a very perfect, and as perfect. When he exhibits himself in fullness, he is appreciated by great learned scholars as most perfect. When he exhibits himself in lesser degrees, he is called very perfect. And when he exhibits still less, he is called perfect. This means that Krishna is appreciated for 3 degrees of perfection. These 3 degrees of perfection are especially exhibited as follows. When he is in Goloka Vrindavana, his transcendental qualities are exhibited as most perfect. When he is in Dwarka, he exhibits his qualities as very perfect. And when he is in Mathura, he exhibits his qualities as perfect. Krishna's personality is analyzed as Dhirodhata, Dhira Lalita, Dhira Prashanda, and Dhirodata. Dhirodata, Dhirodatta. Both are there. What is the difference between first one and last one, Prabhuji?
We'll see. We'll read that.
Okay. If one asks how a personality can be beheld in 4 quite opposing ways, the answer is that the Lord is the reservoir of all transcendental qualities and activities. Therefore, his different aspects can be analyzed according to the exhibition of his limitless variety of pastimes, and as such, there is no contradiction. Dhirodhata. A Dhirodhata is a person who is naturally very grave, gentle, forgiving, merciful, determined, humble, highly qualified, chivalrous, and physically attractive. In this connection, the following statement given by Indra, the king of heaven, is very significant. My dear Lord, I admit that I have committed great offenses unto you, but I cannot express my feelings of regret, being bewildered at seeing your extraordinary chivalrous spirit, your endeavor to protect your devotees, your determination, your steadiness in lifting the great hill of Govardhana, your beautiful bodily features, and your astonishing characteristic of being pleased simply by accepting the prayers of your devotees and offenders. The above statement by the King of Heaven is an exact corroboration of Krishna's being Dhirodatta. Many learned scholars have agreed to also accept Lord Ramachandra as Dhirodatta, but all of Lord Ramachandra's qualities are also included in the character of Lord Krishna. Dhira Lalita, a person is called Dhira Lalita if he is naturally very funny, always in full youthfulness, expert in joking and free from all anxieties. Such a Dhira Lalita personality is generally found to be domesticated and very submissive to his lover. This Dhira Lalita trait in the personality of Krishna is described by Yajna Patni, the wife of one of the Brahmanas who were performing sacrifices in Vrindavana. She tells her friends one day Srimati Radha Rani, accompanied by her associates, was taking rest in her garden, and at that time Lord Sri Krishna arrived in that assembly. After sitting down, he began to narrate very impudently about his previous night's pastimes with Radharani. While he was speaking in that way, Radharani became very embarrassed. She was feeling ashamed and was absorbed in thought, and Krishna took the opportunity to mark her breast with different kinds of tilaka. Krishna proved himself to be very expert in that art. In this way, Krishna as Dhira Lalita was enjoying his youthful proclivities in the company of the gopis. Generally, those who are expert in writing drama choose to call Cupid the ideal Dhira Lalita, but we can more perfectly find in the personality of Krishna all the characteristics of Dhira Lalita. Dhira Prashanta, a person who is very peaceful, forbearing, considerate, and obliging is called Dhira Prashanta. This Dhira Prashanta trait of Krishna was exhibited in his dealings with the Pandavas. On account of the Pandavas' faithful devotion to the Lord, he agreed to become their charioteer, their advisor, the friend, their messenger, and sometimes their bodyguard. Such an example of the result of devotional service toward Vishnu. When Krishna was speaking to Maharaja Yudhishthira about religious principles, he demonstrated himself to be a great learned scholar, but because he accepted the position of younger cousin to Yudhishthira, he was speaking in a very gentle tone, which enhanced his beautiful bodily features. The movement of his eyes and the mode of his speech proved that he was very, very expert in giving moral instruction. Sometimes Maharaja Yudhishthira is also accepted by learned scholars as Dhira Prashanta. Dhirodatta, a person who is very envious, proud, easily angered, restless, and complacent is called Dhirodatta by learned scholars. Such qualities were visible in the character of Lord Krishna because when he was writing a letter to Kalayavana, Krishna addressed him as a sinful frog. In his letter, Krishna advised Kalayavana that he should immediately go and find some dark well for his residence because there was a black snake named Krishna who was very eager to devour all such sinful frogs. Krishna reminded Kalayavana that he could turn all the universes to ashes simply by looking at them. The above statement by Krishna seems apparently to be of an envious nature, but according to different pastimes, places, and times, this quality is accepted as a great characteristic. Krishna's Dhirodatta qualities have been accepted as great because Krishna uses them only to protect his devotees. In other words, even undesirable traits may also be used in the exchange of devotional service. Sometimes Bhima, the second brother of the Pandavas, is also described as Dhirodatta. Once while fighting with a demon who was appearing as a deer, Krishna challenged him in this way: I have come before you as a great elephant named Krishna. You must leave the battlefield accepting defeat, or else there is death awaiting you. This challenging spirit of Krishna's is not contradictory to his sublime character because he is the supreme being. Everything is possible in his character. There is a nice statement in the Kurma Purana about these contradictory traits of the supreme personality of Godhead. It is stated there that the supreme person is neither very fat nor very thin. He is always transcendental to material qualities, and yet his bodily luster is blackish. His eyes are reddish. He is all powerful, and he is equipped with all different kinds of opulences. Contradictory traits in Krishna's person are not at all surprising. One should not consider the characteristics of Krishna, the supreme personality of Godhead, to be actually contradictory. One should try to understand the traits of Krishna from authorities and try to understand how these characteristics are employed by the supreme will of the Lord. In the Mahavaraha Purana, it is confirmed that the transcendental bodies of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and his expansions are all existing eternally. Such bodies are never material. They are completely spiritual and full of knowledge. They are reservoirs of all transcendental qualities. In the Vishnu Yamala Tantra, there is a statement that because the personality of Godhead and his expanded bodies are always full of knowledge, bliss, and eternity, they are always free from the 18 kinds of material contaminations: illusion, fatigue, errors, roughness, material lust, restlessness, pride, envy, violence, disgrace, exhaustion, untruth, anger, hankering, dependence, desire to lord over the universe, seeing duality, and cheating. Regarding all of the above mentioned statements, it is understood that the Mahavishnu is the source of all incarnations in the material world. But because of his greater extraordinary opulence, we can understand that the son of Nanda Maharaja is the source of the Mahavishnu also. This is confirmed in the Brahma Samhita, wherein it is stated, "Let me offer my respectful obeisances unto Govinda, whose partial representation is the Mahavishnu." The gigantic form of the Mahavishnu is the source of generation for innumerable universes. Innumerable universes are coming out of his exhaling breath, and the same universes are going back in with his inhaling breath. This Mahavishnu is also a plenary portion of Krishna.
Output clear, no? So Dhiro Data, Dhiro Lalit, Dhiro Prashant, and Dhiro Datta. Okay.
Prabhuji, which chapter? Chapter number 24.
24. Read Mataji.
Chapter 24, Further Traits of Sri Krishna. After describing the different opulences of Krishna, Srila Rupa Goswami tries to further describe the transcendental beauties and qualities of the Lord as decorated, enjoying, pleasing, dependable, steady, and predominating. He is also described as a meticulous dresser and a magnanimous personality. These are generally considered to be the qualities of great personalities. Decorated, it is said that a person, if great, if he is decorated with the qualities of being very merciful toward the unfortunate, very powerful, superior, chivalrous, enthusiastic, expert, and truthful. These decorations were manifested in the character of Krishna during his Govardhan Leela. At that time, the whole tract of land in Vrindavana was being disturbed by the rain sent by Indra, as described elsewhere. At first, Krishna thought, "Let me retaliate against this vengeance of Indra by destroying his heavenly kingdom." But later on, when he thought of the insignificance of the king of heaven, Krishna changed his mind and felt merciful toward Indra. No one is able to tolerate the wrath of Krishna. So instead of retaliating against Indra, he simply showed his compassion for his friends in Vrindavana by lifting the whole of Govardhana hill to protect them. Enjoy. When a person is seen to be always happy and is accustomed to
another
speak.
insight I would like to mention here, that when Brahma did Brahma Vimohan Leela, and when he came and he prayed to Krishna, asking for the forgiveness and glorifying him, Krishna didn't even reply to that. Krishna did not even reply to those prayers. Even Brahma Madhav were like, the Madhavas, who consider themselves as Brahma Madhav Gaudiya Sampradaya. So they don't have in Bhagavatam this Brahma Vimohan Leela. You know that? In the Bhagavatam, they don't mention. They said our Guru cannot get removed, So, but when Govardhan Leela happened and Krishna came, when Indra came, and when Indra asked for the forgiveness, Krishna just smiled and he forgave him. And he spoke also in return. You know what was the reason? Can somebody tell me the reason?
Prabhuji, can I?
Please.
प्रभुजी, क्योंकि इंद्र ने सारे उनके जो गोप थे, बाल सखा थे, उन सबको एक किया था, मतलब, और जो ब्रह्मा जी थे उन्होंने कृष्ण से दूर कर दिए थे उनके जो
Krishna cannot take that anybody is taking his devotee away from him. That's why he was pissed off with Brahma. Okay. That's the reason Brahma, this Indra, although he committed the biggest mistake by attacking on the Brajavasis, but actually, the reason behind, why he got so angry, Indra? Why he got angry on the worship of Giriraj?
Because Prabhuji, nobody was offering prayers to him.
Yeah, I'll tell you. Earlier, all these mountains, they used to have wings. तो पहले पहाड़ हवा में उड़ा करते थे, पता आपको? और लेकिन कभी कभी क्या करता था, उड़ते 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 कहीं भी बैठ जाते थे, तो जहां बैठते थे तो गांव के गांव खत्म हो जाता था। तो जब इंदिरा से ये प्रॉब्लम शेयर की गई, तो इंद्र ने क्या किया, सब के सब जितने भी माउंटेन्स थे वो सबके विंग्स काट दिए। तो इसीलिए इंदिरा और जो ये माउंटेन्स है, इन दोनों की एनिमिटी है, इनकी दुश्मनी है। तो व्हेन कृष्णा actually, why he worshipped Govardhan only? He could have worshipped something else also, but because he knew that if I worship a mountain, Indra is definitely going to get frustrated, And whatever he did, despite he did everything, but he actually brought all the Brajavasis together, and that's what exactly was appreciated by Krishna, because everybody had this desire to see Krishna in 8 pahar. 8 pahar means all the time. Sometimes gopis can see Krishna, sometimes only his parents can see Krishna, sometimes only the Gauravas can see Krishna, So gopis, they have this desire, like, all the day they are working so hard, churning the butter out and everything, because so that Krishna can come and steal, or they can go and sell, and uske bahane they can, chalo sakhi taha jaiye, jahan mile brajraj, गोरस बेचत हरी मिले, एक पंथ दुई काज, चलो चलते हैं, और चल के उस जगह पे जाते हैं, उस डायरेक्शन में जाते हैं जहाँ पे ब्रजराज मिले। तो गोरस बेचत हरी मिले, गोरस भी बिक जाएगा, गोरस मतलब दूध दही घी, एक साथ दोनों काम हो जाएंगे। तो gopis, they always had a desire, Gwalwal, they all had desire that we want to see Krishna 8 याम। अब सब लोग कहते हैं कि 7 दिन तक गोवर्धन लिफ्ट हुआ था, but actually तो for so many years it happened actually, we could only see 7 days. जैसे रासलीला बोलते खाली एक ही रात हुई थी, but it lasted for millions and trillions of years, and it's still going on, So कहीं ना कहीं Govardhan Leela is still going on. So that is the reason, he actually forgave. That's why he did not take any revenge, or he didn't retaliate against Indra. Enjoying. पढ़ो।
Okay, Prabhuji. Enjoying when a person is seen to be always happy and is accustomed to speak smilingly, he is considered to be in the mode of enjoyment. This trait was found in Krishna when he appeared at the sacrificial arena of King Kansa. It is described that the lotus-eyed Krishna entered among the wrestlers without being impolite to them, glanced over them with determination, and seemed to them just like an elephant attacking some plants. Even while speaking to them, Krishna was still smiling, and this way he stood valiantly upon the wrestling dais. Pleasing. When one's characteristics are very sweet and desirable, his personality is called pleasing. An example of Krishna's pleasing nature is thus described in Srimad Bhagavatam. One day, while Krishna was awaiting the arrival of Srimati Radharani by the bank of the Yamuna, he began to make a garland of Kadamba flowers. In the meantime, Srimati Radharani appeared there, and at that time, Murari, Krishna, the enemy of Mura, glanced over Radharani very sweetly. Dependable. Any person who is reliable in all circumstances is called dependable. In this connection, Rupa Goswami says that even the demons were relying upon the dependability of Krishna because they were confident that Krishna would never attack them without due cause. Therefore, with faith and confidence, they used to live with their doors wide open. And the demigods, although afraid of the demons, were confident of the protection of Krishna. Therefore, even in the midst of danger, they were engaged in sportive activities. Persons who had never undergone the reformatory ritualistic ceremonies of the Vedas were confident that Krishna would accept only faith and devotion, and so they were engaged in Krishna consciousness and were freed from all anxieties. In other words, all kinds of men, from the demigods down to the uncultured, can rely on the causeless mercy of the Supreme Lord. Steady. A person who is not disturbed even in a situation of reverses is called steady. The steadiness was observed in Krishna in connection with his chastising the demon known known as Bana. The Bana demon had many hands and Krishna was cutting off these hands one after another. This Bana was a great devotee of Lord Shiva and the goddess Durga. Thus, when Bana was being chastised, Lord Shiva and Durga became very furious at Krishna, but Krishna did not care for them. Predominating, a person who can affect the mind of everyone is called predominating. As far as Krishna's predomination is concerned, in the 10th canto, 43rd chapter, verse 17 of Srimad Bhagavatam, Krishna is described thus by Sukadeva Goswami to King Parikshit. My dear King, Krishna is a thunderbolt to the wrestlers. To the common man, he is the most beautiful human being. To the young girls, he is just like Cupid. To the cowherd men and women, he is the most intimate relative. To the impious kings, he is the supreme ruler. To his parents, Nanda and Yashoda, he is just a baby. To Kancha, the king of Bhoja, he is death personified. To the dull and stupid, he is just like a stone. To the yogis, he is the supreme absolute truth, and to the Vrishnis, he is the supreme personality of Godhead. In such a predominating position, Krishna appeared in that arena along with his older brother Balarama. When Krishna, the reservoir of all mellows, was present in the arena of Kansa, he appeared differently to the different persons who were related to him in different mellows. It is stated in Bhagavad Gita that he appears to every person according to one's relationship with him. Sometimes learned scholars describe predominating to mean a person intolerant of being neglected. This peculiarity in Krishna was visible when Kansa was insulting Maharaja Nanda. Vasudeva was asking Krishna's assistance in killing Kamsa, and Krishna was glancing over Kansa with longing eyes, just like a prostitute, and was just preparing to jump at the king. Meticulous dresser.
जैसे कहते हैं ना कि जैसी रही भावना, मतलब तैसी रही भावना जैसी प्रभु मूरत देखी तुन वैसी, ऐसे कोई कुछ एक श्लोक है, वो है रामचरित मानस में कि हम भगवान की जैसे हमारी हमारी वासना होगी, जैसी हमारी इच्छाएं होगी, जैसी हमारी सोच होगी, हमारी मेंटालिटी होगी, हम भगवान को भी उसी तरीके से देखते हैं. ठीक है, तो इसीलिए अलग अलग लोगों को कृष्ण अलग तरीके से नजर आए. यू नो,
Meticulous dresser. A person who is very fond of dressing himself is called a Lalita or a meticulous dresser. This characteristic was found in Krishna in two ways. Sometimes he used to decorate Srimati Radharani with various marks, and sometimes when he was preparing to kill demons like Arishtasura, he would take care to arrange his belt very nicely. Magnanimous. Persons who can give themselves to anyone are called magnanimous. No one could be more magnanimous than Krishna because he is always prepared to give himself completely to his devotee. Even to one who is not a devotee, Krishna in his form of Lord Chaitanya is prepared to give himself and to grant deliverance. Although Krishna is independent of everyone out of his causeless mercy, he is dependent upon Garga Rishi for religious instruction. For learning the military art, he is dependent upon Satyaki, and for good counsel, he is dependent upon his friend Uddhava. How about Santipani Muni? So, Prabhuji?
Yeah.
Santipani Muni?
मतलब समझा नहीं, what is the question?
Although Krishna is independent of everyone, out of his causeless mercy, he is dependent on Garga Rishi for religious instruction.
Yeah.
So Santipani Muni has also been referred here and there, no? In
yeah, but you know, Garga Muni was his guru when he was in Vrindavan.
Kula Guru, right?
Kula Guru. You know, that's the reason Vasudev, he said, my son is there, so please you go and do his Namkar Sanskar, do his Mundan Sanskar. So all the Sanskar of Krishna happened after 1 year of his age. Okay? So we had Goshala secretly.
Okay.
So that's a Garga Rishi for the religious instructions. Okay? Even like, you know, even you won't believe it, when Krishna decides to go for the Goshala Leela, he makes some arrangements so that Garga Muni is coming to Nandagaon. And then they say, like, Maya, now I want to go for the Gocharan, and then I want to take the children. It is Gopa Ashtami. Then you know, I want to take the children of cows, like, you know, the calves and all. So then, you know, Gargacharya, he comes, and Garga Muni comes. You know who is the daughter of Garga Muni?
Gargi.
Exactly. We read in Chamatkar Chandrika. So तो इस तरीके से गर्ग ऋषि जो है, he is giving the religious instructions, when to do what, how to do what. And Satyaki was his guru. When actually he went and he learned, all the arts, archery and everything, the 64 arts he had learned, he has actually learned from Satyaki. Okay? And for the good counsel, he is always dependent on his friend Uddhav. Why? Because he's a disciple of Brihaspati. You see how Krishna is establishing a standard that we should always and always take advice from a God conscious or
Qualified and God
qualified
conscious.
person who knows the scriptures,
Hmm.
This is the most important thing. Like for example, when हाँ डाल देना, गले में बहुत दर्द है, ये अदरक भी डाल देना थोड़ी सी, और हनी भी डाल देना, sorry. हाँ, so जैसे I mean you might find it very funny, but एक बड़ी जबरदस्त, एक बहुत ही अब तक की सबसे बेस्ट या सबसे बड़ी एक्सपेंसिव you can say एक टीवी सीरीज आई थी, इसका नाम था गेम ऑफ थ्रोन्स, right? I mean, initially, like what happened, I got to see four things, so those are back in 2013 or 14. I think I saw when I got recently married, and my brother-in-law he brought it, and I said, "Ruby, please आप try करो उसको." तो उस समय movies तो मैंने देखता था, but TV series वो मैंने देख ली somehow because it was historical, and I'm very, very, very fond of history and all. That's the reason, I have the subscription of even Discovery History Channel, because I like to, sometimes watch the history. So when I was watching that, always the imaginative myth mythology, Game of Thrones, but in Game of Thrones also at last, who becomes the king of all the thrones, all 7 kingdoms? The man who had knowledge of, who knew the stories. I don't know the name of that guy who was always with the crow, but he becomes what? The king of all the 7 kingdoms, like the king of the whole world. How? Because he had knowledge from scriptures. That's the reason, like they say, we don't need a powerful person, we need a person with a mind. So like whenever we have any doubt, questions, or any problem, he is going to give us a solution from scriptures. You get it? That is the reason I always say that we should have our Tattva Siddhant very strong. For that, we should definitely read Mahabharata. Mahabharata is a very good way to understand Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. Although these 4 things are not the goal of our life, but to live a good life, we need to know Artha Shastra. We need to know all these things. This is very important. या फिर कौटिल्य की नीति, कहते हैं ना, कौटिल्य बोले तो चाणक्य. So चाणक्य नीति you can read so that you get to know a lot. like चाणक्य ने एक नीति बनाई थी कि अगर कोई व्यक्ति किसी पर्टिकुलर खेत के अंदर वो काम नहीं करता है 2 सीजन तक, तो तीसरे सीजन में वो खेत जो किसी और किसान को दे दिया जाएगा, क्योंकि every property used to belong to the king. And because of that reason, everybody used to work. Everybody used to work hard. तो किसान काम भी अच्छा करते थे, उनका कर भी कम होता था, because बहुत सारा अनाज पैदा होता था. They used to get very less tax, and all the kisan, they were happy. Like unlike today, they are selling their khed and everything, so that the concrete building, people are making concrete building on the top of it. So why I'm telling you this, that we have, I mean, like Chanakya has given us, the description how to live. It's like a very good example of how one time one Chinese traveler, he came to meet him, and he saw that Chanakya was doing some writing. He said, when you just sit, and one lamp was on, lamp was like, there. So he was writing, and after writing it, he blew that lamp, and he lighted another one. And he was very surprised. That first of all, I'm very surprised that you're such a big minister or such a big king of the whole world, actually not whole the whole world, but the whole Malaysia area, Afghanistan area, everything was coming under that king only that time. So he asked Chanakya, and you are living a simple life. He said simple life because it's very easy. When you live simply, when you have less desires, then actually you can think about the welfare of the society. And as a minister, this is my duty to have to minimize my own needs so that I can give or I can do more and more for the people who are living in my kingdom. And as far as this lamp thing is concerned, जो पहले लैम्प जल रहा था उसमें मैं I was working for my office, you know. So राजकोष का घी था उसके अंदर जो तेल था. तो राजकोष के तेल की वजह से I was doing the work for Rajkosh. But when I started writing for my own self and writing for my personal purpose, I write another one which actually I bought from my own salary. So this is another example ki how the management should be selfless and how another example is एक बार चाणक्य पंडित जा रहे थे और उनके पैर में ना कांटा चुभ गया. उन्हें बड़ा गुस्सा आया तो खून हो गए. तो उन्होंने क्या किया, गुस्सा नहीं किया, गुस्सा तो आया, it was very frustrated. But you know what he did? उसने बोला राजा ने इसको हटाओ यहाँ से. बोला नहीं रुक जाओ. He went और उन्होंने मीठी लस्सी ली और मीठी लस्सी लेके उस पर्टिकुलर झाड़ी पे डाल दी. तो राजा ने बोला ये आपने क्या किया? तो उन्होंने बोला कि अगर मैं इसको काटता तो दोबारा वापस आ जाए. कभी भी तुम्हारा कोई दुश्मन है ना उसको जड़ से खत्म कर दो. मैंने मीठी लस्सी डाल दी है, सारी चीटियां यहाँ पर आ जाएंगी. वो चीटियां आके इसको पेड़ को खाना शुरू करेगी. खाते खाते इसकी हालत ऐसी हो जाएगी, मर जाएगा. तो सारे कांटे झड़ जाएंगे और एक टाइम पे पेड़ यहाँ पे रहेगा ही नहीं. So like these kind of strategies you can only learn when you heard the stories, when you're seeing things, when you see through things, This is very important for all of us to understand that we should have good tattva siddhant. Then only we can actually progress in Krishna consciousness. Any questions you have? We'll not read the third chapter.
Enough for today, Prabhuji.
Enough for today. Today we had enough, more than enough, right?
Prabhuji,
No, your voice is.
Yeah. और मैं चुपचाप तो बैठूंगा नहीं. हाँ अंशु बाबू वो सही समझी, सृष्टि वो सही समझी.
यस प्रभुजी, वो अभी ये जो आप बोल रहे थे ना महाभारत का, प्रभुजी मैंने ना एक मेरी ऑब्जर्वेशन रही है कि महाभारत से ना सीखने के लिए बहुत कुछ है. क्योंकि जब आप देखते हो ना कि भगवान ने कैसे अर्जुन को बचाया है, कैसे भगवान घोड़े से उतर रहे हैं, कैसे घोड़ों की भी केयर कर रहे हैं भगवान. और भगवान ने कभी ये एटीट्यूड नहीं रखा कि मैं तो सारथी, मतलब मैं तो भगवान हूँ और तुम मुझसे ये सब करवा रहे हो. और कैसे सरेंडर्ड हैं पांडव भगवान को लेकर. तो जब आप वो वाले चिंतन करते हो ना तो उससे भी माला अच्छी होती है. क्योंकि आपको ये याद रहता है कि मेरा कोई प्रोटेक्टर है, मतलब कोई है जो मुझे बचा रहा है. तो ना बहुत शांति आती है वो सुन के, वो देखकर. और एक वो जो भीष्म पितामह जब ज्ञान दे रहे हैं, अनुशासन पर्व है जो पूरा,
वो तो मतलब what, see, listen, Mahabharata is like from the beginning till end, it's like an amazing book. Anyways, वो तो है ही है, it's a fact है, so you cannot change it. महाभारत की like एक बड़ा अच्छा एग्जांपल आता है कि मतलब like कितने सारे मेरे फंडे क्लियर हुए लाइफ के यार. करण को लेके, करण का who was Karan, why Karan was scared, what was the reason, and Eklavya, story of Eklavya, or there's a lot, say Ramchandra, why he killed that particular Shudra, एक शूद्र था. Thank you so much, Kamal. Yes, our classes are becoming more knowledgeable, more interesting day by day. Yeah, because you guys are digging me out. मैंने अपने आप को 9-10 साल से चुपचाप बिठा के रखा. You guys are digging me out. Yeah, जैसे like but another very good example comes in Mahabharata. कि one time what happened कि जिस दिन भीष्म पितामह got angry ना, when he went mad, वो भाई साहब इतना कलेश हुआ कि इतना उन्होंने मारा लोगों को. और मतलब सारे के सारे पांचों के पांचों पांडवों की बैंड बजी हुई थी. और ना एक ना वाव था जो उसने लिया था अर्जुन ने कि अगर मुझे कोई भी व्यक्ति आके ये बोलेगा कि तेरा गांडीव जो है किस फायदा किस यूज का है, उसको उठा के फेंक दे, मैं उस व्यक्ति का सर काट दूंगा. अब क्या हुआ कि युधिष्ठिर घुसे रूम के अंदर कि अर्जुन अब वो अपने आप को क्या समझता है you are a very big archer, this and that. हाँ, उठा इसको, फेंक दे इसको, उठा दिया। अब लाइक अर्जुन जो है वो चले गए बोल के। अर्जुन ने निकाली तलवार, कृष्ण वहां पे खड़े हुए थे। कह रहे क्या हुआ? भाई मेरे भाई ने मुझे ऐसे बोला, मुझे तो उसको मारना पड़ेगा। Because I've taken a vow. If anybody would ever say that to me, I'll kill that person. He said, but मृत्यु एक तरीके की नहीं होती, मृत्यु बहुत अलग अलग तरीके की होती है। जैसे कि इवन इन एस्ट्रोलॉजी भी से कि मृत्यु एक तरीके की नहीं होती, किसी का नुकसान हो जाना भी मृत्यु होती है, किसी को बेइज्जत हो जाना वो मृत्यु होती है, कोई धोखा दे दे वो भी एक तरीके की मृत्यु होती है। तो what happened कि he went there. We say you go and you tell him that this whole Mahabharat happened because of him. And like जल्दी अच्छे से डिफेम कर अपने भाई को, and don't leave any room for him. So what happened? He went to his room and said कि युधिष्ठिर महाराज, युधिष्ठिर महाराज, you are my brother, but that doesn't mean that you will say whatever you want to say. The whole mess happened because of you. Who the hell are you to actually put me on that beat? हाँ, उसको मेरे को कैसे उस पे लगा दिया, दाव पे लगा दिया, और मेरे को लगाया, भाइयों को लगाया, और तुमने द्रौपदी को भी लगा दिया, सारे नौकरों को लगा दिया, सबको लगा दिया। तुम्हारी वजह से हम लोग जंगलों में बैठ के 13 साल ये वो ये खूब बेइज्जती कर दी उन्होंने उसकी, युधिष्ठिर की। And then he came out of the room and he was going in another direction. And immediately Krishna stopped. भाई क्या हुआ? कहता मैंने अपने बड़े भाई को इतना जलील कर दिया, अब there is no use of such life. So now I want to give up this life and I want to go and commit suicide. हाँ, तो immediately उन्होंने बोला कि now I want to go and commit suicide. And then Krishna said, wait a minute. Suicide commit करने का ये तरीका नहीं कि you have to kill yourself. According to scripture, there's another way of committing suicide. That is by praising yourself.
Yes.
So he said कि go and praise yourself. That I'm a big धनुर्धर, मेरे सामने कोई भी नहीं टिक सकता, मैं सबसे बड़ा हूँ, ये हूँ वो हूँ। And जैसे ही very good, जैसे ही उन्होंने जाके ये बोला कि मैं बहुत बड़ा ये हूँ, तो like he got pacified. ठीक है, I've committed actually a suicide. And then Krishna was Krishna pacified him. So you see, without killing his brother, without killing himself, इसको बाहर निकालो और इसे हम कर देंगे. Without killing himself or without killing any personality, it happened. So all these things are possible only and only when you have good knowledge of scriptures. That is the reason we should have deep knowledge. How many people are aware of it before? Raise your hand.
प्रभु जी, I was aware of it because मैंने अमोघ लीला प्रभु के पूरे 25 लेक्चर सुने हैं।
अमोघ लीला प्रभु, हाँ ये तो लेकिन मैंने कहीं और से सुना था, मुझे यहाँ तक याद है।
ये प्रभु जी सारा उसमें बताया उन्होंने।
अच्छा, वेरी नाइस। मैं तो सब पढ़ा था ना, I read Mahabharata. But anyway, it is very important for all of us to know this, and this is very important. Any doubt you have? Any question you have?
प्रभु जी, इसके बाद ना मैंने अनुशासन पर पूरा सुना जो भीष्म पितामह ने ज्ञान दिया है, तो अगर कोई यज्ञ, दान और तपस्या को बहुत डीप में समझना होना तो बहुत अच्छा समझाया है, वो भी मैंने सुना।
हाँ, मैं हमेशा यज्ञ, दान और तपस्या की बात करता हूँ when it comes to गृहस्थ आश्रम। हरि बोल, इसी और when it comes to गृहस्थ आश्रम, I always talk about तप, दान और यज्ञ, and these things are very important to गृहस्थ आश्रम. We'll discuss that some other time. Any other thing you have? Any question you have?
हरे कृष्णा प्रभु जी। प्रभु जी, मेरी ना बीच में क्लास, आई हैव टू लीव क्लास इन बिटवीन, जब आप वो समझा रहे थे टास्क का, कैन यू प्लीज रिपीट दैट? व्हाट मतलब
टास्क बोला आपका कौन सा नंबर था?
सेकंड नंबर। उसमें आपने बताया था कि पेड़ के नीचे मुझे सिंहासन पर राधा कृष्ण।
देखो, इसका मतलब है इन अ फॉरेस्ट ऑफ स्मॉल कदम्ब ट्री ऑन द बैंक ऑफ यमुना आई विल सीट द डिवाइन कपल ऑन अ थ्रोन मेड ऑफ ब्रिलियंट जूल। तो मैंने बोला आपको एक ऐसी पेंटिंग बनानी है जिसमें कदम्ब के पेड़ हैं, जिसे कदम्ब खंडी कहते हैं, और बहुत सारे कदम्ब के पेड़ों के साथ से ही एक जमुना जी निकल रही है जो कि नीले रंग की है और बहुत सुंदर है, और जमुना जी के किनारे एक रत्न सिंहासन है जिसमें राधे श्याम बैठे हुए हैं। ठीक है, कालीन नीरे खूले केली कंदम बेरवन रतन बेदीरा ऊपर गोसा बहुत दुर्जन। ठीक है, उन दोनों को बिठाए हुए आपको क्या करना है, उसे एक पेंटिंग बनाना है। समझ में आया?
क्या करना है प्रभु जी? उनको बिठाना है।
उन्हें बिठाना है, उनको बस एक पेंटिंग बनानी है। राधे श्याम दोनों बैठे हुए हैं।
कब तक प्रभु जी हमें सबमिट करनी है?
परसों तक।
ओके प्रभु जी।
बहुत मजा आएगा। This particular practice or such kind of practices will bring more and more. Your meditation will make your meditation more deeper. उसके बाद ना खुशी, you are not coming. हम हर रोज रंग महल बनाते हैं। रंग मतलब महल मतलब एक कृष्ण राधा कृष्ण का एक निकुंज बनाते हैं, जिसमें कोई भी बंदा एक इनपुट देता है, फिर दूसरा इनपुट देता है, फिर तीसरा इनपुट देता है, and then we think about like कि how beautifully the whole thing has been decorated. Why we are doing it? So that it can help us in our meditation. Got it?
ओके प्रभु जी।
ठीक है, and please don't talk, I mean like